Hey yo, welcome back to my channel. This is day 3 of improving my articulation speech. So let's get started. So, alright, this is how you don't become special. You need to make it completely clear in your mind that recognizing you, giving you attention, a moment of their time is not you being treated as somebody special. You translate that into a specialness because you hardly ever feel good about yourself. This means you have never consciously devised a way to make yourself feel better. It's the burden of feeling inadequate in your mind that makes normal act of kindness from others seems like a special act which they are not. Guys say you are special to girl that they are trying to have sex with. The point is if you rely on others to feel special then that you may become the norms in your life. Then a habit and after that a crippling need. Appreciate their kindness. Of course, in case where there was no motive behind the word, and if there was one, you can appreciate the sentiment, take inspiration from it, if it's work related, and be aware of their motives. Whatever the case may be, the right to feel special must be earned and must only be yours to give. It shouldn't belong to other because the world might not share their opinion. Having practical expectation from the world will make you more self-reliant and less reliant on the good word of others. This will save you from constantly trying to please people and feeling miserable when you fail. If you need someone else to tell you that you are special, then you have not done anything to earn it in your own mind. Other can never make you feel special for long. There are people who, despite having achieved, learned, and progress a lot in their lives, has no sense of specialness in their mind. It's happened because they did it all to prove something to somebody. It could be their parents, society, teacher. It was fueled by pressure, competition, culture, and everything else but their own selves. Their lives to this day function on the principle that achievement and better performance are meant to please those whom they have deemed good. If they are pleased by me, then I am special. This is how their lives work. Whatever I do to prove to the world that I can do it, basically to accept by the world. Soon afterward, the world is replaced by people who become the ideal model of behavior and performance model you look up to. Therefore, whatever I do, I must do it better to impress them. The idea then becomes to please them until you become them and have their blessing and assurance that you have become what they would like you to be. If you are living this life, flip the script, which means whatever I do it for myself because I want to prove to myself I can do it. Recognizing that whatever you do in turn impact the world because whatever I do impact the world, I shall and must become better so I can impact the world for the better. Those who hold prizes, position, and power are source to learn from and nothing else. You know nothing about their lives except for their abilities. Admire the fact that they have those abilities and leave it at that. When they appreciate you, signal you at congratulate you and welcome your effort, you must understand this. It is normal, deserve reaction to your praiseworthy action, not act of be benevolence from higher being. You can appreciate that treatment and make sure to it turn pass it on to other. But if you label it as something that make you special, Then the high of feeling special become dependent on the pat on the back, a compliment, a word of admire to feel good about yourself. By doing that, you are silently setting yourself up to a crush mentally. The day you hear the opposite of those words, the day it's not a pat on the back but a backhanded comment, not a compliment but the unpleasant remark, not a word of admiration but a rejection of your performance. This is a relationship between master and servant, neither of whom is special without the other. The master relies on the servant presence for his special status, the servant on the master's word of kindness. The truth about most people who have achieved a lot but depend on the praise of others to feel special is you are already special. Nobody ever taught you to think from this point of view. Nobody taught you what a specialness actually is, and nobody taught the same to those who haven't achieved much. Either specialness in essence does not require anybody but the individual. One can simply close their eye and ask themselves why I am special, what I have done in my life, and get a clear answer. In case you feel dissatisfied, then you have the option to earn it. Nobody give it to you, you have to take it. But that's the hardest part, earning it. It is to escape from this answer that we look for a specialness in love, appreciative comment, and attention through social media or friends. It is because we know we aren't special in our own eyes that we at least want to be told by other that we are in theirs. Once you realize that your specialness is taken away from the approval and acceptance of other and handed exclusively to the self, specialness then become a collection of skill and feeling. Special is the sensation felt on upgrading in life after having mastered a skill. Chapter 3: What rejections do to us. Side note: this is an intro chapter about rejection. We are warming ourselves up for a ride. One of the most important things we are going to do from now on is to talk about fundamental principle. What the fuck does that mean? Well, it's basically reconsidering your perception of things or creating perception of things. If you don't have any, you get hurt about things and start doing extremely stupid shit because a lot of time you are looking as it the wrong way. Perception matters, my friend. The way you look at something matters a lot. If you can see things in a certain way, that gives you the ability to avoid pointless suffering from it. Why why wouldn't you want that? So without further ado, let's begin. Rejection are part of the life. You are going to be rejected by those you desire, and you will not always get a fair shot in the competition. People are motivated by the various factors to make decisions to the detriment of your happiness or prosperity. The point is, on many occasions, it won't have anything to do with you. This is a big world we live in with a lot of people. You are just one of them, and sadly, the world doesn't revolve around you, which kinda leave you with very bad odds now because we know rejections are the part of the life and happen every single day to somebody. We need to have a way of looking at rejection that help us overcome them easily and not be scared into a little hole by them. Our first foundation principle is rejection are normal. It might be very late for you to start seeing it in this way because you may have already spent a lot of years being psychologically molded by rejection mauled by rejection, failure, and losses. Don't worry, we will talk about everything from now. Start rewriting your perceptions of rejection of any kind with these three words. Rejections are normal. Rejection are a commonly found species of ancient beasts that get everyone in all fields of life. As mentioned before, it may have nothing to do with you when it's happened, but because you are a self important, self loving son of a gun, you think from your ego instead of your rational mind and make it all about yourself. You act as if you are the only one it has happened to. Therefore, once again, rejections are normal. Start seeing it in this way. They happen to everybody. Rejections during teen years are the worst. Although rejection continue through your lifetime, they tend to have a brutal effect in the initial year, a time when you are little too passionate, too hopeful, and a little too entitled. It might have been in your early years of schooling when a teacher you really wanted to be noticed by somehow always moved past you as if you were an unwanted ad. Or it could have been a person you like or a person with authority or charisma. The sensation felt from that experience was, am I invisible to them? Your mind is unable to come up with any rational explanation for such behavior from others, and you are too embarrassed to open up with your parents about it. In case you do, chances are they see it as an opportunity to fill your mind with a complete nonsense. Something is wrong with that person for not realizing how great you are, so screw that person for not seeing that. Of course, your perception cannot agree with screw them. It goes in direct contradiction to the fact that you like them and wish to be liked by them in return. You have given them values in your mind. Therefore, when you end up feeling in absence of sensible explanation for what is happening is something is wrong with me. As time goes by, these sensations double, triple, and start to multiply. You haven't been selected for a school active, actively a debate, a play, a sport team. The cool senior student don't seem to take a sign to you, and most devastating of all, your crush, the really pretty one or the popular one, those whom everybody seems to be interested in and talks about, doesn't notice you at all either, even though you are crushing it. It is the contest of staring at them. That's when the voices start to become louder. Maybe something is wrong with me from this. The conclusion, you underdeveloped brain draw it. I am not special as discussed earlier. You haven't the slightest clue of what being special means either. These are the developmental years of the perception and personality of a person, and not only tools. At hand is an underdeveloped brain without guidance. The response to being rejected is rarely going to be mature. A heartbreak, opportunity lost, and isolation make you feel it's the end of the world. So, depending on your fearfulness, fearlessness, strength, weakness, you make a decision about what to do with this voice saying, I am not special. In short, you get screwed because you haven't been told that rejection are fucking normal, Matt. Your life doesn't really know how to process emotion productively either. The result could be really disastrous. Being motivated by rejection is not really a good idea. Of the many outcomes of rejection, three of the results could be, I am going to accept that I am loser. The world doesn't notice me, therefore I will become successful to be noticed. I will show them, I will prove to them I am superior, better above them all, and they are all going to regret not choosing me. The third one, I am going to declare that the world is unfair, basically a shitty place, and devote myself to blaming, hating, and spreading toxicity. You may think the second point is quite powerful. Kudos to that kid. Well, not really. The person is going to be successful only so that they can prove to others that they are a somebody, and in that pursuit, they will most probably chase success blindly, ignoring that they actually wanted to do, because their prime motivation isn't to be self-satisfied but to satisfy other. And here is the fatal flaw behind this motivation: the desire to prove something to others require that these others actually care, which they don't. You are the only one invested in what become of you, and the only things they are interested in is what become of them. Also, in the likelihood that the person choosing option 2 is not able to achieve that success, what option to do? What option do? What option do they do have but to become more bitter, more sad, and let's assume they do achieve that success. What's the chance that these others would you satisfy? What if those you wanted to prove your superiority to become more successful than you? Should you save your head out of frustration at this point? This thinking goes completely against the idea of the knowing how to think, because at some point you will be forced toward introspection by your own mind, and such choices and pursuits serve as the prime ingredient for an existential crisis. This may with time also create a bitter, meaningless outlook on what you do, because what you have built is personality that relies heavily on proving itself to others. The self is mostly or entirely clueless because the mind has been trained to look towards those you respect to give you satisfaction. Those who are able to find out what they want to do in life chases after greatness to prove to themselves that they are great at what they do. With time, they realize they don't need anybody's approval, as doing what they want to do gives them purpose, and fulfilling that purpose gives them satisfaction and meaningful life. So, this is for today. I am disturbed. I am really mentally disturbed. Bye bye.